we doing today? We're going to talk about a special part of real estate, something that is real significant during this time that we like to call tax season. We're going to address on certain aspects of renting a home, whether it be an apartment or a house. The first thing we're going to talk about is, what can you afford? Now, most apartment complexes, just like most property management companies or even most private owners, will rent you a house or an apartment based on you making 3 times what the rental amount is. I've come to the conclusion that that's not always a good thing. It's not good to get somewhere where you only make 3 times the rent. Let's make a quick example. Let's say you find you a 1-bedroom, for example, as low as $600 a month, and you only make $1,800 a month before taxes. Once your taxes are taken out and possibly insurance and any other deductions, you come down to about $1,600, maybe $1,500. Once you pay your rent of $600, you have approximately $900 left over. With that $900, you have utilities that can go anywhere from $200 to $400 to maybe even $500. Well, let's be optimistic and say $200. Now we've spent $800, leaving us with $700 left over. In the event that you drive to work and you drive to do social events, go out, whatever it may be, you're going to spend about a good $50 a week on average. So this means that that's an additional $200. So now we've spent $1,000 with $500 left over. The average person spends about a good $75 a week in food alone. So that means that that's an additional $300 a month. Now we've spent $1,300 and we have $200 left over. $200 for any emergency to take place, to buy clothes, or anything. But most importantly is, you don't have any savings. Now on the books, you can afford it. But let's just say your car has problems. Let's say a family member is in need. That leads me to what I believe you should always look at. That is, what can you truly afford? If you don't make 4 to 4.5 times the rent amount in any given month, then that is not a place that you can afford. Take into consideration all your expenses, and then take into consideration all your living expenses. When I say living expenses, I don't mean the things that it takes to live. I mean the things that you spend money on a daily basis. I'm pretty sure now you have a better way to look at it. Be careful of getting a big tax refund and putting yourself in a situation that when May comes, or even December, because who knows how much you pay up front of whatever you may do with your money. A situation that will end up hurting you in the long run. Now we're going to touch on property management. Property management companies versus private owners. In the event that you're renting a house, please do research on property management companies. Although they may have the glitz and glamour to show you that they have a level of stability, depending on the house that you're renting, the neighborhood that you're renting it in, and your personal financial situation, it may be best to deal with a private owner. However, there are a lot of pros to dealing with property management companies. One being the stability and the reliability. So do your research. Let's move on to the next subject. Apartments versus houses. What is the pros and cons of renting an apartment as in comparison to renting a house? Well, 3 things I think are very important. Location, price, and size. If you have children, take into consideration location. Very seriously. Very often we think that getting a house is the best thing to do. However, in the event that you are a single mother or just two people that are trying to make it in this world like all of us, a house may not always be the best solution. You may find yourself with more problems than you thought. Houses tend to have more issues such as plumbing or mold, mildew, and usually a house has a story which led it to being on the rental market. But if you can find a house in a good neighborhood, good school system, and with a good company, go for it. But if you're trying to find yourself in a good neighborhood with a good school district, and you can't afford that house, but you can afford that apartment, go for the apartment. If nothing else, it'll give you the opportunity to save money so that you can buy yourself a house in that neighborhood, and your kids will still be in that great school district. Size. When you take size into consideration, take into consideration how long do you plan on residing at that location. Sometimes the bigger the